Stay tuned as we take a look at this Marvel Legends 80 years anniversary big time Spider-Man. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we're taking a quick look at this Marvel Legends 80 years anniversary big time Spider-Man. Now, as usual with these Marvel 80 years figures, they're just reissues or repaints of figures that we've seen in the past, but this one is a welcome repaint because unless this is the first time you have ever seen a Marvel Legends review online, then I'm sure you know who this guy is, as it is the one that Shardamus Prime made famous, as the previous release from Hasbro was a massive letdown, which birthed big time letdown Spider-Man. And even Hasbro themselves recognised that and gave us a redo this year, and it's now been dubbed the big time badass Spider-Man from Shardamus himself. So it's nice to know that Hasbro are aware of what's going on online and watch our reviews and whatnot. So if you're watching, hello Hasbro, send me some stuff. Nice. But today, again, I just wanted to take a quick look at this one and comparing to some other Spider-Man figures in my collection. So as standard, what should be standard for Spider-Man figures, but not always, we do get some interchangeable hands for Spider-Man. As I said, it should be standard, but we don't always get them. And we do get some web effect. Now, I'd rather more hands or interchangeable faces or something, but nope, we get a web effect, but it is Spider-Man, so I let them off. At the top, we get a nice Spider-Man logo. On the side, we're getting a picture of the stealth suit Spider-Man. There he is. On the back, no wave association, no Build-A-Figure pieces, a single packed Marvel 80 years figure. But we do get a little bio that reads, after losing his spider sense, Peter Parker builds a new spider armor to protect himself. And that is this one. Big time, badass Spider-Man. Let's open him up. And here we have Spider-Man out of the packaging, looking very nice. I've always liked this character design for Spider-Man with the black and the green, that sort of neon green. This is his stealth suit, essentially. So the reason this version of Spider-Man has been dubbed big time, as Peter Parker created this uniform or this outfit in the big time story arc. He also made the same outfit, but in blue and I believe red as well, and each one of the suits had a slightly different ability. I think he made this green one to fight the Hobgoblin, I believe, but yeah, that's why it's called Big Time. It is because this character design was first seen in the Big Time story arc in about 2010, but that's just a guess off the top of the head. He comes with some interchangeable hands, which I'll show you in a minute. As I said, every Spider-Man should as standard, and he also comes with a web, and I'm sure we've seen this before. It's not one that I use in my display. You probably can't even see it very well on the white background, but I promise you it's there. It's got a little hook on the end. So it's a nice little pack in, but I do prefer making my own webs, which I'll show in this video as well. So let's zoom in, check out the paint lines on this, because it is a very simple figure in regards to just green lines on black. So let's hope Hasbro did a clean job, and I'll also show you the different types of hands and how you can get this guy posed up. So straight out of the box, you get one web swinging hand and one fisted hand, and these do have a bit of green on as well on the inside, which I quite like. But you do obviously get one set of web swinging hands, one set of jazz hands, aka wall crawling hands, and I like that you can see the green circles in there very clean as well. Then of course you get a pair of fisted hands as well, so of course you can mix and match and get them posed up any way you want. So I like the display options. So let's take a look at those paint lines on the figure, and mine seem quite clean, to be fair. Really up close you can see some scruff marks in the green, which is a shame, but from afar you're not going to be able to notice them, so I'm not going to notice on my shelf, but looking up close I can definitely see some scruff marks. But other than that, the line work is very nice, and again, when you start articulating this guy, don't worry about getting all the lines to match up, because it's obviously not going to happen, but you can get all the lines to match up if you really wanted to pose him standing straight, but that would be quite a boring pose for your Spider-Man, wouldn't it? But yeah, I like the green and black. I've said that a few times. On the back, we get the spider logo, so I'm liking that. And yeah, it's very simple for Hasbro to do this figure as a reissue and give it us in red and blue as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that at some point in the future, because this is a solid Spider-Man figure in regards to the book that they've used. It's the one with the butterfly joints, so you can get really good articulation on this guy, as you should do for a Spider-Man figure. nice double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, the nice butterfly joints, decent range, not as much as usual, but enough, I guess. But yeah, you're going to be able to get this Spider-Man in some good poses. Now, I'm not the guy to go to for posing action figures. Go and check out The Amazing. I just like talking about them. But yeah, this Spider-Man is looking good without a doubt. As I mentioned as well, you do also get this web, which you're probably not going to be able to see with my white background, but I promise you it's there. It's just made of a soft sort of plastic, so you can sort of bend it and pose it, but it's always going to spin back round to this sort of hoop. But it does have like a little hook on it, like that. So I guess it's to hook it into the Spider-Man like that. And then there's a little hook on this end. So maybe you can get some decent poses with this. I just don't like it very much. Instead, I suggest making your own. Now get yourself some simple wire, some sort of white wire. I don't even know what it's technically called, but it's white wire. I got mine off eBay for a couple of quid. And then you get it and you wrap it all up. And then you can make yourself some bendy wire webs. Now this is not a great example because I've got one really thick at the end, but you get what I'm trying to do. You can sort of wrap that around any hand and literally tie it in tight and get him posed with some spinning webs and whatnot. So again, you probably can't even see it with the white background, but I promise you it's there. But I always like posing him hanging from the ceiling. There you go, that's what I'm talking about. Get Spider-Man on your dangling web and it adds a little bit more character to the display, and then get him in a nice dynamic pose, posing with all your Avengers hanging upside down as Spider-Man should. So yeah, fun figure for sure. And here we have big time Spider-Man compared to some other Spider designs that like wearing black with Spider-Man Noir and of course the symbiote Spider-Man. But let's be honest, with the Spider-Verse, anything is possible. We even have a Spider-Ham, and there we have the Scarlet Spider, even UK repping Spider-Man UK. And then of course, Peter Parker himself. And I do want to just see if this unmasked Peter Parker head will pop on there, no problem. So let's try that. There you go, you heard it click. And there you go. If you wanted your unmasked Peter Parker to be wearing this stealth suit big time costume, that is something you can definitely do. And then for one last comparison, here we have Stealth Suit Spider-Man compared to Stealth Suit Iron Man, as this guy has just recently passed by the review table. Both of these are single pack figures in the 80th anniversary line, and I'm liking them very much. So final thoughts, this is of course a fun figure. If you're a Spider-Man fan and you're collecting those figures to add to your Spider-Verse, then this guy is a must regardless. But the articulation is great, and it's really hard to get this guy in a bad pose. He's going to look great on your shelf. He's going to stand out with the black and neon gold regardless. But yeah, any Spider-Man fan I think is going to want this, especially if you're into action figure reviewing, as Optimus Prime has definitely made this guy famous over the years, and it's a nice figure. So well done, Hasbro. So as always, you let me know in the comments below, will you be picking this guy up, or are you skipping him entirely? It is completely up to you. But always curious to hear your thoughts, and leave them in the comments below. Wherever you are watching this, whether that be on YouTube, and if you are watching this on YouTube, then please, please, please hit that subscribe button while you can, just in case we stick around. But if not, head over to Vimeo, where I'll be there at Dan Who Reviews. And if you really want to support what I'm doing and can see it continue and grow, then head over to the Patreon at Dan Who Reviews and support me there. All the links will be in the bio, in the description, wherever the links need to be these days. But as always, people, my name is Dan W, and of course I shall see you on the next one.